time to start the show. And I'm going to get started right after this.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you so much for the wait and the delay. David, thank you for being here. How are you this morning?
I'm good, buddy. Just drinking some coffee, hoping the wind dies down so I can actually return the swamp cooler covers I have collected and the oil change jug that is now in my bushes that I made sure isn't leaking into the ground, But, shout out to living by a canyon and it being windy. What can you do?
So if you haven't been here before, if this is your first time coming, we talk a lot about football. We talk a little bit about life and a little bit about just about everything, right? We try to keep it nice, and we also have some fun. If you haven't been here before, I got a little bit of dry humor. I got a little bit of a dad kind of vibe. I am a dad. David's a dad, but David's a little bit older than me. So David's kind of like my big brother. And with that, guys, we do a lot of things together. We have a good friend, Korey Davis, who also used to do a lot of great stuff with us. And we like to, keep him alive. So what we've done is we've started YouTube, and we were all three working together, and Korey passed on. And we are at this point in our careers in the YouTube game where we wanted to do a jersey giveaway. Thank you to everybody coming, and thank you so much for everybody who's listened. If this, again, your first time coming, you just heard David talk. David is in a different state than I am, and David has to deal with different weather situations. Sometimes it's snowing when it's sunny where I'm at, and sometimes it's snowing where he's at and it's raining where I'm at. So folks, it's great because this world's just so much smaller, and it's made it a little bit better for people like me and David to communicate a little bit easier, right? So with that, guys, let's run through the chat. David, again, thank you so much for being here. And we got a lot of people here. So we'll start out. We have Guru 99 years ago, or Grew 99 years ago. We got Tony, Carcast, Mr. Tommy Huxley, Steve-O, Miss Dawn Dotson. We got 49er Media. We have Crazy Juice. Yes, we have some crazy juice. And with that, guys, we appreciate everyone for coming. So if you haven't liked the stream, please do so on both channels. If you're not subscribed, please do so. If you didn't enter the jersey giveaway, it's okay. There might be something in the future, but again, we just really appreciate you being here. Every one of us, I feel like when you're here, you interact in the chat, it's just a little bit easier to communicate, and you start to be able to build a relationship and maybe understand things a little bit better. We might not be the most knowledgeable, but we definitely are having fun, and we definitely want to share that. So if there's a day or a time where you want to say, hey, I would like to get behind the camera, or I want to come on and maybe not be seen, if being on camera is something that you don't want to do. Me and David like doing interviews with different people, and we like to talk to people about different whatnots, right? You don't have to be a football fan either. So if you'd like to come on sometime and have a cup of coffee, we like to do that, like on the weekends. So thank you again, everybody, for coming. And David, let's start it out. So would you like to tell everybody what we're doing today and what we're giving away?
It's Jersey Giveaway Day. The contest ended last night at 11:59 p.m. PST. And we're gonna choose the winner of everyone who entered today. It's a Colin Kaepernick jersey, signed, authenticated, real deal jersey. Still has the tags on it. So I hope whoever wins it enjoys it. I'm not the type to wear something like that. I would personally put it in a frame and hang it on my wall. But some people would wear it around. So some people are like that. I am the type to, if I have a fast car, I'm going to drive it fast. I am that type. I'll tell you that right now.
That is fun. That is definitely fun. So yes, yeah, it's a Colin Kaepernick jersey. It's still got the tag on it. It's signed. It will be mailed to whoever wins. It comes with this the identification card that has a serial number on it for its authenticity. It's really neat, and it needs to go to somebody who's going to take care of it, because what Colin Kaepernick did for the Niners during his time needs to be remembered and respected. And hey, we're all fans. And if you win it and you're not necessarily a 49er fan, well, hopefully you take care of it as well. And again, so there wasn't as many people jumped into the giveaway that we wanted, but you know what? We still appreciate everybody who came. Maybe, in the future giveaway, if we do one, maybe you'll have a chance to win a coffee cup. I mean, maybe it makes a little bit more sense being a coffee show. But with that, David, we've been doing a lot of different things back and forth on your channel, my channel. You had a mock draft last night. It went really, really well. So if anybody here didn't get to see it last night, definitely take a look. And, as the season goes on, as it continues to go to draft season, I believe and I understand that you will still be doing the mocks. So if people want to jump into those chats and let us know how everything's going, your thoughts, and maybe you got a fan favorite, or maybe you got a sleeper pick. You can even throw it in the chat today and talk. Today might not be necessarily the longest show. We definitely want to get to the giveaway. I know that's why everybody came, right? And hopefully everybody who came who had entered is here. If you're not, then we'll definitely email you and get you your notifications, and we'll get you notified, and I'll get your details of where I can mail this to. But David, we do have a friend in the background, and I'd like to bring him on, if you don't mind. I'm going to bring in Terry. Hello, Mr. Terry.
That's awesome.
Good day, gentlemen. Good day. How's everybody going? How's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Well,
that's an awesome suit you got there.
Gracias.
I would have to say you're looking really, really dapper. I think that would be a very, very good term to use right now.
Well, I try.
Very, very sharp.
I try. I came in, I had my green on, and I saw my man with, I know y'all dress up on Sundays as well. You should. So I said, let me go ahead and get into tradition and be with my boys today. We had such a great draft. Hey, man, yeah, Dave McNiner is GMing out here. I hope you recap that too. But without further ado, go ahead and give it to him, DC.
I love it because you just set it off. You just reminded me, if everybody hasn't noticed the colors that you are wearing, happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. I really do appreciate you. I'm not wearing green, but I will be wearing it later. So, yes, everybody, I got the red on. You see David's got the gold on, but Teardown definitely comes in being the most festive, being the period correct. It's not Labor Day, so you can wear white, but it's St. Patrick's Day, so you better be wearing green.
I'm understanding it's Ayuk's birthday as well. Happy birthday to Brandon Ayuk, if that's the case there, Steve-O just said. But yeah, you got to get a little festive. You used to get pinched back in school. I don't know if they still do that anymore. It's a kinder, gentler nation now. But yeah, if you had that green on, you got pinched.
Wow, yeah, I better. The only green I have is like my camo.
All right. Well, guys, I don't know how bad it is on your part. If I'm glitching really hard, I'm having a little bit of a power struggle today. If you guys don't know, my house is haunted, and it's very, very fun to watch the show. I'm sure, because there'll be moments where I'm on screen and then I just disappear, and whoever is on my co-host. Usually I have a co-host for a certain reason. If my power fails, I can come back in. Well, sometimes when I have something else running on my screen as well, it slows my computer down as well. So there might be a little bit of a lag. So for right now, if Teardome, if you have any sound effects, I would like to do the giveaway now. If David, if you're ready, I'd like to do the giveaway, the draw now. And for the winner, since I don't have sound effects on my side, Teardome, if you would be ready to, whatever you believe is appropriate for the moment, let's go ahead and let's get that ready. So if everybody's here, we are spinning the wheel. All right, let me get the screen shared. We're gonna get the presents, folks. This is what I don't do this a whole lot, so bear with me because we are having fun. I see Sentinel came, Itchy came. Thank you all for coming. Carcast is here. All right, folks, and then again, Tommy Huxley, John J. Thank you all for coming, Steve-O, and everyone. Good luck. All right, so if you can see, Mariah's here, Kenny, David, Bashar, B, Dawn, Nicole, DJ, Steve-O, Teradome, and Peachy have all officially entered the contest. If it wasn't clearly understood, we tried to make it very clear. If you wanted to enter, all you had to do is screenshot the 3 YouTube channels and wham, bam, send it to me in an email and you can enter. We did the jersey giveaway for about a month, and we had a lot of fun. And me and David did gain a couple subscribers, and we did notice Korey gained a couple subscribers as well. So it was a lot of fun. But whether or not we have subscribers or not, it's about having fun. And the people that come, we wanted to say thank you as well. So everyone that's here, thank you. So with more and more time, hopefully we get a little bit bigger and a little bit, better known out there. And we appreciate if anyone can share and tell a friend about our channels. But let's go ahead and spin that wheel. Good luck to everyone.
Spinning. Wheel of Fortune.
Teardome, you got a sound effect.
Mariah
Mariah
is our winner as well. It should be. What she's been just so gracious over the years. Shout out to Miss Mariah out there in Vegas. She was the hostess with the mostest when we were at the Super Bowl this year. Las Vegas is her town, and it is her jersey. Mariah, we go back like babies and pacifiers. Shout out to Mariah, our grand prize winner.
Congratulations. Oh, wow. So if you didn't see your name there, double check, make sure you go back and look to see if you emailed me correctly, because I've went through back and forth every day looking to see. I went into my spam. I went back and forth every day, and I double checked this morning as well. I've only had officially 11 people who entered the contest. And honestly, Mariah was the first one who entered. She got really lucky and got to her. Teradome entered, Steve-O entered. We put B and DJ on there. Howard, Nicole, Don Dotson, Bashar, David Corona, Kenny Culp. So if you didn't see your name, please double check. But we appreciate you all for coming. and we hope to see you come back through. It won't be our first or last. It wasn't our first. I think we've given away maybe 1 or 2 cups before. So thank you again for coming. And yes, if anyone hasn't seen Mariah, please tell her, let her know. And congratulations, Mariah.
Mariah.
I just sent her a DM on Twitter, letting her know. I'm not sure if she's awake yet, but
Yeah, it could get pretty late mornings in Vegas.
Most definitely. That's one thing too, is we go a little earlier in the mornings than most people. Sometimes, different parts of the country, people are up at different times or go to bed at different times. And the coffee morning show, it's something for me and David to be able to, it's easy for us to do because it's closer to our time. That's why we do appreciate the people that do come back and watch later on at times. So again, hey, congratulations to Mariah. So what you guys got planned for today? Now that we've given away a jersey, I know I'm going to go put that in mail tomorrow, and we'll be getting out there to Miss Mariah. I'm going to like to look at the mock draft a little bit. You guys got me really pumped last night about going through it. You guys made some crazy trades before I got in here, and don't see us be collecting that many players. And Pterodome, you brought up a good point yesterday about if you have 7 draft picks every year, you're doing something right. It doesn't mean all 7 players are going to make the team, but you're still, that's the objective, is to have 7. If you got more, I guess you're lucky, right? But
yeah, that's the gravy on the potatoes if you got more than 7. So that's capital, and then sometimes we dip into next year and give some away for 25 and 26, but it's supposed to be 7 picks. So Dave just did an outstanding job yesterday, man. Shout out to Dave. Even before I got on, I was a few minutes late, and I was like, oh man, I hope he get my guy. And man, he was midway into the 2nd or 3rd pick, and he went back and recapped. He said, yeah, I went up. I got JC Latham. I said, oh, he could do no wrong. And then he just started swish. He got hot like Steph Curry. He just started just picking them, and he couldn't miss. He couldn't miss. And then the last one of the night was just ridiculous. We jumped up to get JC, got him, and then Baltimore gave up. I don't even know who they wanted so bad at 45, but they gave us a treasure trove. And it got so ridiculous, folks, that we wound up with so many picks. We picked a long snapper at the end of the night. we just had picks and picks and picks. We kept the lineage going. We got Frank Gore Jr. We got McCaffrey, Luke McCaffrey. We got anybody you might have thought about you needed and wanted. And with my knowledge of college football, because I follow college football. I like a lot of these teams, and a couple of NFL sites that I trust in terms of scouting. I think if we can pick them up like this, we're gonna be some happy campers come April.
So David, I was thinking there's you look at certain times where players are rated to come out of draft, and they're supposed to be a really dominant player. They're supposed to be like that generational player, and that doesn't necessarily work out. So sometimes, going for that big name doesn't necessarily work out. But if you do have somebody like a long snapper, and you take a pick on somebody like that because you have multiple picks, it's almost is it better to take a shot on players that aren't really going to get drafted when you have that many picks, instead of taking maybe a higher player that, take, for example, the Niners only have maybe 11 positions that we need to fill, right? Or 7 positions, right? Just theory, right? Mm-hmm. And you go and have 11 picks. So you have 14 picks, and you pick all the best players in the draft. Well, those players aren't going to make the Niners team, right? But you still pick the best players. Now they're getting cut. Now their career is kind of like in a downward spin. Now they got to scramble to get to another team. And because of the training camp, because of the timing, now all these other teams have signed players, and now there's no spots for these guys. So sometimes these really good players do end up going to like Canada or arena football or whatever else, Europe football, there was there for a
Shout
little
out to
while.
NFL Europe back in the day.
Oh yeah. Remember that.
So if you're a player coming out of the draft and you're a decent looking player, you're maybe a Heisman Trophy winner, or you've been on a really you have high projections, right? Are you looking to get drafted by a really good team, or do you want to go to more of a team that you're gonna have a chance to play, or you're gonna have a chance to start, or do you want to just go and do you want to go to a ready-made team if you're gonna go and play?
If I was going to go and play, I would want to go to a good football team.
So
But
you
at
want
the
to
same time, your chances of making a good football team are slim, right?
Yeah.
Your chances of making a bad football team are pretty good. But I just would want to go to a good football team, and if I didn't make it, hopefully they'd pick me up on the practice squad. But like last year, some of the guys that we cut, we were really liking in preseason, like Il Manning and what was it, Joey Fisher, right? Those offensive linemen. We cut them, and Joey Fisher ended up getting picked up by the Steelers, and they actually put him on their 53, if I remember right. And Il Manning went to the practice squad of the Arizona Cardinals, and we ended up with him back later in the season on our practice squad. But it's just one of those things, like that corner, DJ Reed, right?
Yep.
The guy we picked, and he looked pretty good, but then he got injured, and then we waived him, on some sort of injury clause, and he didn't make it through waivers. The Seahawks picked him up because they knew he was a good player.
There it is.
And you take a lot of chances, like our GM, you have to take a lot of chances to fill out the 53 with the guys that can be on the field. And you're going to lose a guy like DJ Reed every now and again, right?
Same question for you, Pterodome. If you're coming out, you're being drafted, or you are projected to be drafted, are you wanting to go to a team that has a bunch of championships, that's going to the Super Bowl, or, being talked about pretty steadily, but your chances of making that team are very, very slim? Or if you do make the team, you're going to be sitting for a while. And the reason I'm asking this question, you kind of got me thinking last night about when we were talking with the Seahawks. The Seahawks take players that have been around different teams and maybe don't work out, but if they're a good player, they're going to get to play. But there seems to be some teams that stack players. And, take, for example, what happened kind of with the Raiders with Marcus Allen. He was a really good running back, but they kept hiding him on the roster. And there were some reasons they didn't play him.
Yeah.
there was some reasons there. But he was the idea, though, is you have that many weapons. You don't have to play all these players. So like with the Niners right now, we don't have to play Mitchell. We don't have to play Mason because we have CMC. We have Juice, and they're doing plenty, right? We have Debo. He's doing plenty. So do we really need any extra running backs? And you look at example for like Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They're adding King Henry. Now, I don't see them, and I think someone else brought this up too, I don't see them being much better of a rushing team. They're not going to dominate much more. I mean, they're already number one, right? Are they going to be 1.1, or are they? I don't see how you can get better than one. Have better record, have history rights. Say, oh, we rushed for 1 million yards in a season. That's not happening. There's not enough time on the clock, and it's just not happening. But so, what's your thoughts again? Would you rather go to a team where you're going to get to play, you're going to get a chance to play, or are you willing to go to a team where you're going to have to sit if you make the team?
Well, it's a couple of trains of thoughts on it. I think the kids just want to get drafted. They just want to be drafted. They just want somebody to pick them up. There are those elusive, really top-notch guys who can kind of pick and choose. We've seen that in history where hey, I don't really want to go here. I want to go there. case in point, Eli Manning. Eli Manning was supposed to be a San Diego Charger back in the day, but his dad said, nope, it's problems with that organization. They don't have their stuff right. You're not going to San Diego. And he got traded out of it and went to New York. The rest is history. Same thing happened with John Elway. John Elway was the cat's meow coming out of Stanford, and everybody wanted him. The top pick was Baltimore. He said, look, Baltimore, if you pick me, I am not coming. I'm going to play for the Yankees. They picked him. He said, I'm not coming. And he went to Denver. Bo Jackson did the same thing. If when you're guaranteed and ready to go, you get the pick of the litter. You can kind of maneuver this. But for the rest of the 2,000 guys just trying to get picked, including free agents and everything, they just want to get on a team, and they want to get on it desperately. Ideally, you want to go to a team who's got about everything, but at your perspective position, they might have had a great one retire. Say I'm a defensive tackle, and the Rams look pretty good. They went to the playoffs, and the great Aaron Donald just retired. I'm thinking, man, that's where I want to land right now. I can win. I can be effective. I got a shot. I'm jumping in there and jumping in hard. Pause. But it all goes to these guys just want to get picked. You want to realize your dreams and get to the National Football League. Just give me a shot. Just pick me, and I'm going to show what I can do.
So with that, I mean, obviously you want to go to a team, you want to start, you want to play, right? I mean, you don't want to just, some people do, they only want to just get that check. And then from there, they're like, okay, I can use that money and I can go and invest it somewhere else. And I can use a little bit of that money. And, because the amount of money that most of these guys start out with is a lot more money than most people will make in several years.
Yeah.
So it's a generational move. It can really be beneficial to a person if they put it in the right direction. So yeah, I agree. Most people just want to get drafted. So they don't really care about playing at a certain point. And maybe that's the difference in society. But what I do know is what's happened with the Steelers. They have now 2 new quarterbacks, and they shipped their quarterback away.
That's something.
They shipped their quarterback away because he didn't want to compete with the other 2. He didn't feel like he was going to have a fair chance. At least that's what the story's coming out. That's why he's no longer with them. And I believe he went to the Eagles now. So if he thinks he's going to have a chance to compete there, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles, I believe, re-signed Josh Johnson, if I'm correct. I think they re-signed Josh Johnson. I think he's still their third stringer. So
they wanted to play with us?
Yeah, I believe so. He's either there or he's with the Ravens. I can't remember if he's
I've seen him with the Ravens.
Ravens last year. Okay, then so he's still with the Ravens.
He played pretty good for the Ravens in that preseason game that I saw. He was throwing the ball out, and I'm like, hey, where was that when we needed it? But
the guy's been on 16 or 17 rosters, if I'm correct. I think I'm correct, David. And there's I think he's been on the Ravens 4 times. I think this is his 4th time being on the Ravens team. But so, David, with the recent history of what's going on with Chicago, what do you think is going to happen? Are you predicting them drafting a quarterback now, or are they going to go after a veteran, somebody still out there lingering?
Oh, it's a definite sign that they're picking a quarterback.
Yeah.
What quarterback? Everyone could speculate that it's going to be Caleb Williams. But at the same time, you never know. They could take Drake May, Bo Nix, or, there's a pile of quarterback prospects in this year's draft that makes, them being in the number 1 spot interesting. They also have the 9th overall pick. So it's you take your quarterback, and then with that 9th pick, you take that bookend left tackle to watch his back. So they're actually in a good situation. I mean, who's the last great quarterback the Bears had?
Maybe McMahon.
That's exactly it. It's like in their history, they haven't had many good quarterbacks. They had Jay Cutler was pretty good. I can't say he's great.
Cutler was
good. But beyond that, they had Rex Grossman, who had a couple decent years.
Man, blast from the past. Sexy Rexy. I remember Sexy Rexy. Yeah. He went to a Super Bowl.
I think their problem is they move off quarterbacks too fast. Because you said it, they've had Rex Grossman, they've had Jay Cutler, they had Jim McMahon, they had Harbaugh. They've had some quarterbacks that's went through there, but they don't seem to stick with them very long. They seem to, and it's like, it's okay, we'll just get another quarterback next year. We'll get another quarterback next year, and that's but the people, their fans, this time around, they really, and we know one fan, one content creator who's real big fan of Mr. Fields, and that's why I tell people all the time, you can buy their jerseys. That's all. That's great. But don't be upset when they go to another team, because it is business, and you can be upset. You totally can. It's fair, but just don't be upset for too long, because guess what? Their time was for this period, right? But your time could be forever. So go get you a personalized jersey. I need to get like a Fanatics link or something like that and get affiliated or something so I can get a sponsorship. But go get you a custom made, a personalized jersey. You spend the extra money, get you the nice one, right? Get your last name put on it, get your wife one, get your cousin one. I'm telling you, they don't trade you. They cannot cut you. So, then you can wear your jerseys and you can always be, part of the team or feel great. And I don't see you taking your jersey off and throwing it on the ground or burning it or anything. You didn't throw the interception or fumble the game away. So you keep that in mind. But
in effigy. Yeah, they do that, man. Yeah. And my deal is I never really get jerseys unless you're a Hall of Famer. Once you put on a gold jacket, or you're about to, I'm going to get the Patrick Willis jersey. I like Hall of Famers. I guess it just started off like that because my first jersey was a Rice, and then we got a lot, and I just like in a Montana, they just I said, well, I'll just stick to that. That way, I know they're solidified. It's nothing you can do about it. Don't worry about if they got traded, how it ended. Did he go to Oakland? Did he go to Kansas City? Did he go somewhere else? Nope. You know who this jersey represents, the legacy and the longtime history of the San Francisco 49ers and greatness itself. Greatest defensive back ever to play in the National Football League was Ronnie Lott. He made the Pro Bowl at 3 different positions. I didn't say he's the greatest corner. I didn't say he's the greatest safety. I didn't say he's the greatest strong. But all 3 combined, you have to say it was Ronnie Lott, the greatest receiver ever to play this game. Some people say the greatest player is Jerry Rice. It can't be denied. It's too many stats out there. It's too many Super Bowl rings. It's too many hills. It's too many valleys. It's too many stories. It is him. It's no room for argument, debate, discussion, or anything else. The greatest quarterback at the time was one Joe Cool. It ain't nobody but Joe Montana. Montana 4-4, didn't lose any. Came when it was time to play, he played. He took his knocks and he got back up and he gave you all he got. You felt confident in the last 2 minutes with the ball. That was him. And y'all can deny and fight all you want, but it was Joe Cool. And your problem solved. I love Patrick Willis. He's going in. I'd accept a Deion. I'd take a Deion Sanders. That's the greatest corner ever to play the game. He won his first Super Bowl with scarlet and gold, not that white and blue puke that jacked us on the draft last night.
So let me ask David. I'm going to ask David a couple questions. David, where'd Jerry Rice go?
Jerry Rice?
Yeah, he
Well,
left the
he went
Niners,
to the
right?
yes. He went when he left the Niners. He went to the Raiders,
Okay.
and then
Where did Ronnie Lott go?
to the Raiders.
Raiders.
Where did
Where
Roger
did Roger
Craig go?
Craig go?
The Raiders.
Where did Charlie
That's
Garner
right.
go?
The Raiders.
Garner went to the Raiders too. Yeah.
Well, I can't blame them. They didn't want to go far at the time. You know, it was like Oakland or LA, so it really wasn't, too far away, right?
Where did Romanowski go? And I'm sure we can continue to have fun with this. We can go for a very long list.
Yeah, man.
It's really fun, and I'm sure people can do this with the Jets and the Giants, and they can do this with teams that are very close in proximity.
Yeah.
Why? Because you build a family, you have friends in an area, and you don't want to move. But sometimes you have to move. But should people hate you? I mean, what you did for that time, your job, what you put in can never be taken away. That's why trophies can't be taken away. Touchdowns are not removed from the games. You can say, oh, man, a penalty happened, but it happened and they didn't call it. But you have to move on. But these players are real. And I'm excited when these guys go out and get a bag somewhere, hey, more power to you. You want to keep on jack rising and making milk go up that much higher. I don't like paying $5-6 a gallon of milk. I don't like paying that much for, gas either. So if you think you have to keep on getting paid higher and higher because, David got signed this week, right? And he got signed to the biggest contract ever. So I'm waiting. And when I'm going above David, right? And Terry going to go above him too, right? Because we're not happy with just being able to pay the bills, or we need to have more and more. How much do you want to pay for milk? So the next time you guys go and buy a player jersey, you remember how much you're paying for milk, and you're driving up the price of your milk. You are every time. I'm not saying stop buying stuff. Not saying don't buy jerseys or hats or go root for your team, but think about it. These players, they right now are, and these owners are holding players and fans ransom. And that's what, when you said the Chargers and you brought up Eli Manning and the Peyton Mannings and Archie Manning and they didn't want to go to San Diego. Well, I'm from Stockton, and the Spanoses are from Stockton. They own the Chargers. They said, hey, we want to bring the Chargers to Stockton. UOP has a stadium. We want the Chargers to come and train with the 49ers. So when the Niners were here in Stockton, the Chargers and the 49ers were having walkthroughs, kind of what they are doing now, instead of having basically exactly what they're doing, but they weren't televised and they weren't notified as big because the internet was as big. But back in 97, 98, that's what the Chargers and the Niners were doing here in Stockton. And it was a lot of fun to be able to go and see that and stuff. And it's really cool. It gives it makes people that don't necessarily get to go to a big game and stuff. It makes you feel like that's your hometown. That's your hometown team. And you start rooting for them, right? So with the Chargers, being from Stockton, a lot of people are Charger fans because there is the Chargers organization. They have an office here in town, and they have a Charger out in front. It's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
So Dino is now the owner of the Chargers, and he's made his decisions, and you got to give him a round of applause. You got to clap him smack him on the back, whatever you want to do, give him a handshake, because he fleeced the Rams. Now, he did give a big middle finger to the Chargers, the San Diego fans, but to the new Chargers, they don't have to pay rent for how many years? 100 years or something ever? I mean,
they killed them.
And what I'm getting at is why'd the Raiders leave Oakland? Because
it was the stadium deal. Yeah, the state they wouldn't pony up for the money. It was always Al Davis used to really go back and forth with the NFL. He was the first one to threaten to move, and did move to LA out of Oakland. Originally it was Oakland. They went to LA where they won their championships. And Al Davis is in court every day against the NFL, man. They were going at it. And a lot of that stuff, they looked at him for being a Maverick for. After the smoke cleared, NFL teams started moving, and they started doing things like that. Al led the way on a lot of that, man. And love him or hate him, I know, we're sworn enemies to be a Raider fan, but those Raiders had some innovative and shrewd moves about them, particularly that of one Al Davis. That's why he's a Hall of Famer, and he's a football guy, man. Tough dude.
Let me
Hey,
ask this. Go ahead,
we were
David.
talking about the Chicago QBs and the last great one. Kenny actually brought them up. Sid Luckman, 1939 to 1950.
That's the last Hall of Famer they got at quarterback?
Yes.
That's their best quarterback.
Sid Luckman,
That's
they
a
have
long, that's a long time.
Leather helmet. Little Ras Sid Luckman was way back.
Yep.
Wow. That's, and a lot of people saying Caleb is afraid to go to Chicago. They had a funny Twitter on there. I reposted with him like hiding in I think it's a scene from Jurassic Park, and they got the kids running around and hiding. And when the door, the clear door and the monster comes, it's a Chicago Bear, because he don't want to go to Chicago.
And this is
I guess it's hard. It's hard weather up there too. As a quarterback, the wind's swirling a lot. I don't know. The offensive coordinator, we can. That's a Culp Fiction show to say, why is it that this organization is so bad at getting a good quarterback? Is it the organization? Is it their picking? Is it just jankiness? It's something, but quarterbacks, it's where quarterbacks' careers go to die.
It is, and it's very, very. Maybe we should really go deep into this sometime, because you look at certain leagues, certain teams in these leagues, and it can be in baseball, basketball. It can be found in all sports. Truly, there's positions that these teams always suffer and struggle at. The Bears quarterback. And why? Is it because the Bears fans want instant success, and they're so hungry for a quarterback on Montana to come through and to get them multiple championships, so they can sit back and say, we are the Bears, or whatever they want to say? I mean, at a certain point, you have to let the struggles and the imperfections and the guy go through, so he can get to the point where he was. Peyton Manning, great his first year. David,
oh no,
what do you think?
No, Peyton was throwing interceptions, man. I think he had 11 more interceptions than he did touchdowns. It was slim
yes,
pickings.
His rookie year. Yes.
Yeah, it was a rough time there.
David, do you remember Peyton Manning versus the 49ers his rookie year?
I believe we beat them.
We did. Do you remember how we beat them, though?
It was Peyton. Wasn't it a Peyton Manning interception?
I believe so. And we got lucky. We got lucky because I believe we were getting dog stomped, like dog whooped. Hey, we're pet friendly here, but we were getting our tails handed to us. Okay. And then here comes Steve Young at the end of the game, and he makes a rally, and we get the game, right? And then I believe you're right. Peyton threw an interception at the end of the game, but they should have won the game. And that was the game where it was like, you started seeing, hey, Peyton Manning's not as bad as you think, or, as bad as he's been playing. So it does. It brings a lot to the table. So when you look at players and they don't fit the scheme, no, the scheme isn't fitting the fan base. The fan base the Niners fan base wanted it just a couple years ago, everybody go air out, go deep. We need a pass, because why? Jimmy missed that throw in the Super Bowl. He overthrew the guy, and so everybody we need a quarterback that can throw the ball the whole field, out of the stadium, in the parking lot, right? So then we went and got that quarterback. We got a wide receiver. We got a running back. But the team didn't, the players didn't want to go that way, right? And maybe it's weird. Maybe people don't agree with that. But it was a lot of players in the locker room said, we don't play that way. And they're still here on the team. But there's other players.
Yes, sir. I remember very well Juice saying when Trey got hurt in that Seattle game after the game, and Jimmy came in and went, kind of conservative but effective. He said, we're finally back to playing 49er football. And that really resonated with me once he said that. That stuck to me. He tried to clean it up later on and say, "Oh no, I just meant I was just excited for Jimmy G to come back in there." But out of all the players, I would have to say that Juice speaks the truest mind. And being a Harvard guy, Yale guy, Princeton guy, being so smart, he will let go of some truths, and I pick up on nuggets from him. I get a real barometer of the Cabo clique and how they are really thinking overwhelmingly. Not all the players, but a real barometer of how that locker room core is feeling. And it really spoke to me when he said that. It said, we really don't like how Kyle was trying to go with this and push Trey on us. And we're back to doing, we want Jimmy G. We feel comfortable with Jimmy G, or Jimmy G like offense where we're running and just a cloud of dust and yak yards. We're not trying to do that run your quarterback thing and throw it big downfield. We don't really want to do that.
Let me throw this to David real quick. So with what Terradome's saying, right, and what I'm saying, you have a team and they have a core of players, right? So that's kind of primarily the core people you're rooting for. You got to kind of celebrate when the guy gets a touchdown. You have to kind of be like, even though he's not your favorite quarterback, you're like, hey, he didn't throw a pick this time. They won the game, right? You can still be like, I want somebody other than Alex Smith, but he's still your quarterback at the time, right? So with the Cabo clique being the team of the Niners right now, if you have to remove the Cabo clique, you're basically starting over from scratch, because there's not too many players that I see not being affected by that. So with that, would you agree that there's fans that reach out and will, I don't know, maybe jump on the bandwagon at times because they say, okay, well, this is the, greatest show on turf, and I just really like the way this team plays offense. I really like it. But after that generation of players have moved on, you see fans, right, not supporting that team. And you look back and you're like, hey, maybe 10 years ago, you were rocking a Kurt Warner jersey, but now you're not. So do you agree that's what's happened with a lot of people? Because you look at the Niners, we used to run the West Coast offense, and then we kind of got away with that. And now we run a version of the West Coast offense, but it's really Kyle Shanahan's, like, whatever you want to paste it together offense. What I'm getting at is when the Cabo clique leaves, you still see everybody being angry at the Niners the way they are, or do you see them being, or does it really just depend on a Super Bowl? What do you think here?
It depends on a Super Bowl. If this current 49ers team goes and wins a Super Bowl, no one's going to be mad about the Cabo clique. I doubt anyone's going to be saying anything about it. And I honestly look at it like it's not a thing, because were there 2 guys in Cabo this year? It's like, and we don't know the details when it comes to that, right? We don't know who they invited and who's already busy doing family stuff. We don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, as every year goes by, players get older, and the NFL's a business. These guys aren't going to be playing until they're 70. Most players are lucky to make it to 33, 34 in this league, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of rare to actually play that long in this league. I think the average career span is like 3.
I heard 3 years.
3?
Yeah.
3 years. You're lucky if you get 4. It takes 4 to get vested. Meaning you can get your benefits for a sustained amount of time. You're a vested. It was some benefits to it that my cousin went through, and glory to God, Houston. He signed with Houston and got that last kickoff with them, and he was vested in the league. But the average career is 3 years, but it takes 4 to be vested, and that can't be on the practice squad. That's got to be starting
53.
in on a 53. You're on the roster for the 53-man team in complete, years. There are different criterias on this thing, and it's a business, and a lot of guys get left in the cold. It does happen.
So you can't be mad at a player for leaving, but you can't be upset with them leaving because it's breaking up your core. Cores do get old. Players have to be changed out, of course. When you take so many players away, there's still that the name is the team. 49ers is a team, but when you take so many players away, it is a different team. You can still root for that team, like we are Marshall, the whole plane, rest in peace. And hopefully that, that doesn't ever happen again, but things do happen. But there's still a team out there. There's still Marshall. So, people getting upset that a player gets paid so much money, it really blows me away, because do you get upset with the guy at work? Well, I guess you do when you find out about his paybook. So that's the point, right? You get upset when you find out how much someone else is making, because you think you should make that much money, or what?
Yeah, I've been here longer. I do better. Why is he getting paid this and I'm getting paid this chicken fee? That's why they say, hey, man, don't discuss your work, your bonuses. A lot of times in the government, we get these bonuses. And I'll tell my employees, man, when I fill their stuff out, I'm maxing my crew out. I'm putting y'all in. All y'all are in for the big bonus. You've done a wonderful job. But if you hear of somebody else getting it and you didn't, don't take it some kind of way. And another thing I advise, don't share if you got the bonus around your peers and stuff, because it can breed some serious content. But with the NFL, everything's on display. Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport are going to report what you got. And it's out there. It's public news for, women and everybody.
I don't understand why they make that public the way they do. I mean, somebody should know about it, right? But do they do that to you? Do they do that to your local gynecologist? Do they do that to your, local In-N-Out burger guy? I mean, how I don't know when the manager down the street at McDonald's is getting a raise, or how much, they say base salary, so that's not notified. So for these stars to be coming out, and that's what they are, they're stars, right? They're entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we put the cap as fans? The only way you can put a cap is if you stop watching and start watching something else, spend your money elsewhere. That's why these playoff games that are going to cable or these streaming services, we got to be careful. We got to be really, really careful, or we're going to have to pay for everything.
Oh, I see it already, man. I see it already. Once they pull that Peacock trick this past season, I'm like, man, we better watch it. They're gonna go pay-per-view on that Super Bowl. Can you imagine if the Super Bowl went pay-per-view? Because you're gonna watch the Super Bowl. You're gonna see the Super Bowl some kind of way. It's 100 million people, 100 million eyeballs times 2 on that thing. If you charge $50 per, dude, whole new ball game. And
I would be so upset. I really would. I'd pay the money, but I would be very upset for the moment. I really would. And then depending on the outcome of the game, I would. So David, real quick, man, dude, it's been a lot of fun streaming with you. I really do appreciate it, and I hope we can continue this. Terradome, it's always fun as well coming on. But before we get out of here, folks, David, will you be buying a new Devo Samuel jersey?
Will I be buying one?
Yeah.
No.
Folks,
he hasn't. I have a certain standard, and you have to be with the team so many years. He's not there yet.
So
George Kittle, I will buy a George Kittle.
Okay.
When it comes to the old school days, Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Bryant Young, Bryant Young, right?
Bryant Young.
I'll
Yes,
definitely buy one of his. Patrick Willis. Navarro Bowman I don't think he was with us long enough.
No.
It kind of hurts me to say he was a great linebacker, but I don't think he was with us long enough. Justin Smith, though, the Cowboy, he was.
The Cowboy. I love the Cowboy, man.
Yeah, he was. Alex Smith actually qualifies because of how long he was with us, but it's kind of he's a fringe. He's a fringe.
Productivity, yeah, and he took a lot of lumps early.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because if you didn't have your Devo 19 jersey, you can have a pick. You can have your option now. They are probably going on sale. Go get one of those 19 problem jerseys, or you can save up or hold on to your money for a little while and get you a brand new number 1, because now he is going from 19 to 1. So he won't have 19 problems anymore. He might have 20. I don't know. Or he will be number 1.
So you know how that works, right? Like if a player changes numbers, he has to buy the jerseys out, the stock or whatever. And then what does he do? Hopefully he sends them to a country in need, right? Just like they do with the printed Super Bowl winner jerseys of the team that lost.
That's an awesome point. Yeah. It's some kids walking around right now with Buffalo Bills Super Bowl champions in Africa. And unfortunately, we probably had some ones printed up back in February. But hey, they're going to use.
Well, tear it out.
What I think Debo, this is what I think he did, because he didn't announce it right off the bat. He waited. I honestly think he contacted the people that make the jerseys and told them, the specific company that the NFL works with, and told them, look, I'm changing my number. Stop making those. And then he might have waited a while for a lot of them to sell, so he wouldn't have so many to buy out.
True.
This is what I think happened. I can't say that's what happened, but this is what I think he did. And that way his jersey buyout number was incredibly low, and he's just swapping to number 1, and he's going to have Samuel Sr. on it.
So you get a senior with that.
So his son is the junior now. Tayshawn is his son's name, as well as his, and it's really neat. And that's a conspiracy we will have to get into. Does the NFL slow down the jersey prints at a certain point? Because it is funny that, at a certain point in the year, you can buy a jersey and get it shipped to your house right away. And then at a moment you can't find anything for several months. Folks, when do you want to buy a jersey? During football season. When can't you buy a jersey? During football season. You can go to a store. You can go and buy one and carry one out. But if you ordered off the internet, good luck. Good luck. Guys, thank you very much for coming. Terradome, it's always fun having you on. We really appreciate you.
Always a pleasure, man.
Tell the missus we said hello as well.
Certainly will.
David, man, I am so glad that we met and we've been able to do this. Terradome, same as well as with you. I'm looking forward to the next giveaway. Maybe we'll do a giveaway where it's the 3 of us sometime. I know we're going to get Kenny involved here sometime soon. I'd like to, just keep on spreading the joy. I eventually want to do something like where Tom Grossi has got his platform too. That's what I would eventually like to do, is be able to do a fundraiser, maybe get a bunch of 49er content creators together and raise some money for St. Jude's or something. We could all have the same link. Everybody could do it somehow. I would love to do that. But until that happens, guys, we'll just keep brainstorming, everybody, thank you so much for coming. Good luck again. We will be having another giveaway sometime soon. And if you believe you were not entered, please contact me. We'll work it out somehow. I'm sorry, but I've went through my emails. I tried to email everybody who emailed me to let them know that I got their email. So if you didn't get an email from me, I'm sorry. Somehow it didn't go through. But with that, we appreciate you for being here. We appreciate your subscriptions and your friendship. And with that, David, would you like to send us out?
Hey, it's go Niners. And as Korey Davis would say, F all 31 other teams.